Hello guys, welcome back to the channel of the Underside. I hope we're all good. How are we all doing this evening? I just want to jump on and talk a little bit about the current managerial position at Celtic. Obviously, as we know, Martin O'Neill is currently in there with Sean Maloney, currently doing the intern job for the club. Obviously, a lot's been made of Brendan Rodgers leaving. We've spoken about that quite a lot, but Brendan is now gone. Martin O'Neill's had a good few games now. He's had Falkirk, beat Falkirk comfortably at home, won the cup semi-final against Rangers. Then had a bit of a stall during the week there, unfortunately, in Midtjylland, where Celtic were beaten 3-1 convincingly. And then at the weekend, they get back to winning ways by beating Kilmarnock 4-0. So it's been great having Martin back. You know, it's brought back a lot of good memories from back in the day when he was in charge, you know, the great players he had. And, you know, just he's just his personality is very, very infectious. He's just a lovely guy. He's got a great sense of humour. But also he's got that side to him where you don't mess with him. He's still got that, you know, you can tell. But what a guy. Great manager and a great person. Obviously, Sean Maloney has had a bit of experience now as a manager with Hibs and Wigan, so he's in there putting his stamp on things as well, I'm sure. And, you know, it's been great to have both of them. Sean Maloney's, in my opinion, a club legend as well. You know, a great wee player he was for Celtic. He was part of the team that got to the UEFA Cup final and that as well, and scored good goals against Rangers, and very, very good player. So it's been great having the guys back. Obviously, they've had Mark Fotheringham there as well, and you know, he's a former Celtic player as well. So, but in this international break now, I fully believe that all attention turns for Celtic to who the new next man will be. Reports have claimed that Anthony Joseph has claimed that Celtic have spoke to a good few number of people now in London. You know, there's been various talks of that. One of the names that has been heavily linked at the moment is Columbus Crew gaffer Wilfried Nancy, and I get pulled up in my pronunciation for this on Instagram. You know, I'm no French, so I'm not going to get it right, but that's the man that, you know, the bookies apparently have suspended betting on him. I've said in a little clip I done on TikTok and Instagram and that I'm not impressed by it. I really don't think this is the right man for the job. I think that, you know, he's worked in the MLS, and, you know, I think he won a trophy a few years ago in the MLS, but for me, when you go to manage Celtic, you need to have already established things convincingly, in my opinion. And people can throw names at me like, oh, look at Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou was a winner, you know, before he came to Celtic in Australia and Japan. You know, he proved that he can win trophies and stuff. And to me, I just feel that the Celtic and the Rangers jobs aren't getting treated with the respect they deserve anymore. I feel that a lot of people are not looking for names that they should be looking for. Whether that's, you know, I'm talking about fans here as well. A lot of fans and some of the names they came at me and stuff, and some of the names in the media and that, and it was going for the Rangers position as well. You know, to me, to get such a prestigious job at Celtic and Rangers, you need to have earned it. And I feel that a lot of managers over the years, particularly for Rangers, have not earned that position. You know, you look at Russell Martin, you know, people can go, but he done this in England, done that in England. He never won anything. Russell Martin never won anything. He took Southampton up through the playoffs, and then they had a terrible season under him, and he got sacked. And then, you know, a manager gets sacked with one of the worst records in the club's history, and Rangers go and get him. And I just don't get it anymore. I really feel that Celtic and Rangers need to up their game when it comes to getting managers in. Even players, it goes for players as well. A lot of players that are linked to the clubs these days are just like, what has he done? What has he done to earn this position? And I'm not saying go out and spend mega bucks on, we're never going to get Ancelotti, we're never going to get Pep Guardiola, or Jurgen Klopp, or these guys. But they've got to have done something in the game. And for me, the only name that I could think of as soon as this job came up was Knutsen at Bodø Glimt. Now, I've got his stats in front of me here, a few of his stats on Wikipedia, so hopefully they're correct. You know what Wikipedia can be like, but first, I'm not going to try and pronounce the teams he's at before because I don't want to do them an injustice. But the first team he was at, 28th August 2009 to the 15th October 2013, 93 games in charge. He won 58 of them, drawn 12, lost 23. That's a winning percentage of 62.37. Now, that's unbelievable for your first job. Unbelievable. Then in 2014, he goes to another club, and I think it might be Asani. And let's say January 1st, 2014 to 31st of December 2016, 95 games in charge, 40 wins, 24 draws, 31 losses. Now, again, for your second job, that's a winning percentage of 42.11. It's not great. But, you know, it's still a pretty decent average for a guy that's in his second job. And then in 2018, 1st of January, he goes to Bodø Glimt, and we all know what he's done at Bodø Glimt, but look at this record. 353 matches, right? 208 wins out of that. 73 draws and only 72 defeats out of 353. A winning percentage of 58.92. And we all know what he's done with the team in Europe, and it's incredible. You know, they beat Roma, they beat Celtic convincingly, they beat other teams convincingly. They're still doing it at this moment in time. He's been producing team after team, and I was actually talking to Corey about this the other day, about how it's really impressive how he keeps reproducing teams. You know, they lose their big players, you know, they lost a few players after they beat Roma. You know what? One of them ended up going to Roma, I believe. And it just feels now that he's still producing these players. He's still producing good teams to compete every single season. And I know I was reading the other day, they're second in the league at the moment, but only 1 point behind with 2 matches to go. Now, people might go, you're not winning the league there, you're not winning the league. At the end of the day, he's producing these teams to compete every single season. And that I just feel that's amazing. You know, you look at Sir Alex Ferguson, and I know I'm not comparing the two, right? Because obviously Ferguson was just an absolute genius and one of the best ever. But, you know, I'm just talking about from the point of view of they're really, really good players, and then again, they go again the next season with new players and young players, and, you know, it's just incredible to me. And look at this, look at his honours. So he's won the Swedish League with Bodø Glimt 4 times, 2020, 2021, 2023 and 2024, right? Individual honours, he's won Coach of the Year in 2019, 2020 and 2021. Coach of the Month, he's won several times. And it's just, to me, he's the only candidate fit enough for this job that has been mentioned anyway. Another guy that's been mentioned is Kieran McKenna at Ipswich. Boy's never won anything of value, in my opinion. Took Ipswich up into the Premiership. They had a pretty bad season under him. Now they're back again down there, and they're not having the best of seasons. They're not anywhere near it at the moment anyway. Again, I do not feel that Kieran McKenna has earned the job. No, and, you know, see, when I'm saying this about these guys, about Nancy and McKenna and stuff, I'm not having a go at them, right? I'm not saying that these guys are bad managers. I just feel there has to be a certain standard for Celtic, a certain standard for Rangers, and they need to get back to thinking and acting like big clubs again, because I really don't feel that they have been. I really don't. That is my honest opinion. You know, there was so many Rangers fans wanting Steven Gerrard back. So many Rangers fans. And we all go on about how he won 1 trophy in 9. And that's just like dismissed because he won a good season that COVID year, you know. And I just feel that Celtic and Rangers, over these past managerial positions and opportunities for people, they have not been coming out with the names that are correct. Now, I don't know who Celtic have spoke to in London. I think that Wilfried Nancy is clearly one of them. They said that they spoke to several people. I think Kieran McKenna has pretty much ruled his cell out, in my opinion. I think he pretty much said in one of his press conferences he's only focused on Ipswich, and that's what it'll be and stuff. Craig Bellamy done the same as the Wales manager. He done the same kind of thing. Knutsen has been kind of, from what I've been reading anyway, has been kind of dancing around the subject and not ruling anything out, which is making me hopeful. But like I say, it's looking like Wilfried Nancy is the clear favourite here. Really hoping that, you know, it does fall through, because I just don't want him. I don't feel his record's good enough. And people, like I say, I said earlier, you know, people turn around and say, but we didn't know anything about Ange, didn't it? It's a completely different thing. You know, I'm not saying Ange's CV was phenomenal, but he'd won trophy after trophy after trophy. He'd won the Asian Cup with Australia. He'd won leagues in Australia and Japan. As you know, I just feel that Ange was just a different ball game, and obviously Ange has moved on to Spurs and then Nottingham Forest, and it's not worked out. Even though he's won a European trophy, which is mental to say, you know, it's not worked out, but he's won a European trophy. But it's not the same thing. It's really not the same thing with Ange. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks, because I really do believe that in this international window, Celtic will appoint a manager. I really do. You know, there's people saying, and I seen John Hartson saying earlier, that we maybe give it to Martin and Sean Maloney the job, at least for the cup final. Nah, I want a permanent manager in. You know, thank Martin and Sean for what they've done. I want a permanent manager in as soon as possible to work with the players, because we've got a league title to try and chase again. And obviously at the moment we're 7 points behind Hearts, who have played one extra game, which is good. But we've still got a league title to go for here. So never mind all this sentimental stuff. As much as I love Martin O'Neill and as much as I love Sean Maloney, it's time to say thank you. Let them move on. Martin back to his nice wee cushy job at TalkSport, where he can chat away all day, which I'm sure he loves. And Sean Maloney back into the coaching role at Celtic. So that's what I hope happens. I really hope that a manager's appointed in the next few weeks. I definitely believe there will be. And right now, as I'm sitting here on the 12th of November, it's probably going to be Wilfried Nancy, but we'll see what happens. We just need to go. I'm just going with what the bookies are saying, but the media are suggesting and stuff. Apparently, I've seen a article as well before I came on here saying that Knutsen is more likely to stay at Bodø Glimt, which, you know, I get that people, when you speak to people about this, you read things and stuff, it's all about how Knutsen's got it made at Bodø Glimt. You know, he gets a percentage of the transfers and he's got a job there for as long as he wants it, basically. But see, guys like Knutsen, right, they need to remember that, see if things go pear-shaped at Bodø Glimt, they'll get rid of him. Clubs are ruthless when it comes to, you know, they need results. So I don't get this whole loyalty thing. Yeah, I don't get the whole loyalty thing, because at the end of the day, it's a cutthroat market, you know, football. And Knutsen needs to realise that if he could just go into obscureness, if he doesn't start winning games or whatever, if anything happens at Bodø Glimt or they go downhill. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And tell me who you would like as the next Celtic manager. Thank you. Remember and subscribe to the channel, guys. We're also on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, guys. Everywhere, you name it, X, Off the Underside Podcast. Thank you.